morning to everyone. Satish bhai, good morning. Namaste. Namaste. uh, Indeed, it is a great pleasure for me to extend on behalf of PASMA board warm welcome with open arms to all enthusiastic members for showing up to this 16th PASMANAR meeting. Also, please note, for the first time, PASMA has taken an initiative of connecting electrical industry and academics together. So today we have a special guest. I extend warm welcome to participating college students and professors. Among us, we have Sharvari Sane, HOD Electricals. I think she is there. आनंद जी, शर्वरी मैडम आए हैं क्या?
नहीं, अभी तक आए नहीं है. I'll just send a message.
Okay. Vijay Ratnalikar, Managing Trustee and Director Corporate Relations. I hope he is there.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
to you.
Good morning, Vijay ji.
Yeah. Good morning.
Both are working at Vishwaniketan College of Engineering, Khopoli. I am able to see Sunil Deshpande ji. Sunil Deshpande is the principal at Marathwada Mitra Mandal College of Engineering, Pune. So what I request is, these first Sunil Deshpande ji is there. Introduce yourself to the audience, sir. About yourself, please.
First and foremost, heartfelt thank you to all of you, because say that there's a huge gap between two domains, academics and industry. I think all of you have given us opportunity to get connected with you. I represent Marathwada Mitra Mandal College of Engineering, one of the best college in Pune University itself, and we do have a strong industry connect. As Anand mentioned, we got the support from Tata Technologies of 16.5 CR, and we also put up 2 CR and 8,000 square feet of space for setting up what is called as a Center for Invention, Innovation, Incubation. And this is in line with what you people are doing at your place, and would like to get you people to be associated with this CIII. It is a Section 8 company under our college. It is headed by one of our industry person from Cummins, Dr. Talati. Maybe some of you will be knowing him, Chandrasekhar Talati. So we are really we have some innovative schemes like one faculty, one industry, one student, one product, not a project. The project itself is a product. So this is what we are doing at our place. We have something like 250 MSMEs connected to us through this one faculty industry licensing, and hope that is giving good returns to us, and hope all other colleges also fall under the same practice of doing something for students and something for industry. So I once again thank you, all of you, Ramani, Kaji sir, everybody around who is present in this platform. I also take an opportunity to invite some friends, hopefully they will join also, who are in this same field. So I also have Dr. Gokar, our HOD Electrical, who is having 30+ experience, who will join this particular session, and many students are expected to join this session as well. So this is what about MMCO is, and once again thank you very much. Thank you.
Deshpande ji, hello. Sunil Deshpande ji. Somebody was to. You said your colleague is joining.
Yeah, Dr. Gokar is there, HOD Electrical.
Gokar sir,
yes.
You also can tell about yourself, please.
Hi. Okay. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. Thanks to our principal sir, Dr. Deshpande. With his kind information and support, we have invited our students also. They are from third year and B students. As well, we have taken opportunity to invite our alumni also, because most of them they have started their own business, and they are doing something good in the field of electrical engineering, and they have many times participated in exhibitions or some kind of displays by industry people, and we are very happy to join this seminar also. And one more thing I would like to say, my department, electrical engineering department, Marathwada Mitra Mandal College of Engineering, we are accredited by NBA recently. And the point is, another point why we are interested in such kind of seminar is, in fact, we have a Center of Excellence, as Sir has said, Principal Sir has said rightly, that is MC III Center is there. Along with this, we have every department, we have one Center of Excellence. And we people in electrical engineering, we are doing something good in automation and control. And this was a kind of concern for me also, because yeah, for our department, other than our curriculum, we have decided so many things which is beyond curriculum, and our faculty members, they are trained. We are doing something good for the students from skill development point of view in power electronics area, and other area is automation and control. Of course, we are taking different levels, like starting with the conventional switchgear, using conventional switchgear, and maybe going up to Industry 4 or kind of IoT applications in automation and control. So this is all brief about my department and myself. So once again, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
To say a few words about himself. Vijayji, you are there?
Yes, I am there.
So you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead, sir.
is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
good morning
go
to everyone. This is Vijay Ratnalika here. I am actually Director Corporate Relations for Vishwaniketan. I am also Managing Trustee, so I am a part of the decision-making body, for the institute. It's so excellent actually, to be a part of this forum. I just got introduced to this forum just about a couple of days ago from Mr. Jayavant sir, and since then actually I have gone through a lot of things to understand, what this forum is all about and what this particular industry body is up to. Just a brief background about myself. I actually come from a complete product development and industry background. I have over 25 years of industry experience, working for various multinational companies. Although I am core by qualification, I am a mechanical engineer, but as everybody knows, when you call yourself product development engineer, every discipline of the engineering, comes into the fore. As far as Vishwaniketan goes, all those who are not familiar, with Vishwaniketan, this is located actually in Khalapur, which is just after the second toll, on the expressway, right off, the exit going towards the Alibag Plain area. This is a completely non-profit organization. We have been into this educational line of, organization for last 7 years. Although the groundwork for this, had started way long back in 2005. The institute actually has been set up, by getting all the like-minded educationists, academicians, entrepreneurs, and industrialists, coming together, and with a core theme of project-based learning, being one of the philosophy which is put into practice. We have had, a lot of our staff members going overseas and doing their PhDs actually, in project-based learning. We have international collaborations with almost 14 universities where we promote undergraduate fellowship programs, for Pan-India students. As far as electrical department goes and our association goes, Mr. Jayavant is fully familiar, with our institute. He has even visited our college. We have a School of Engineering, School of Architecture, and School of Design, which is just finishing its founding year. So I have recently joined, as director corporate relations, having served into the industry for almost 25 years. It's like making a full circle, like coming back to school, in a way. So it's always good to, go back to school and then be among students and academicians. And what else do you want, on a Sunday morning, being with, as Mr. Sunil Deshpande of Sir, has mentioned, there's a big gap between industry and academic fraternity. And these forums, like yours, Mr. Ramani sir, Mr. Jayavant sir, you are doing an excellent job by bringing these particular, two sections of the society come together and bridge this gap. So I look forward to be a part of this forum. And to all my fellow, academicians, we are all seniors here, Mr. Deshpande sir, and so I cannot ask for anything more, to be a part of it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Anandji Sharwari madam has joined.
Shabir, you'll have to unmute Anand.
No, I am unmute now. I think she has not joined.
Okay.
If he joins afterwards, we'll introduce her after the end of the seminar. So she is not there. So
Anandji, I want you to tell how we got connected to all these three faculty people.
Basically, I'll tell you, I am half of the social-minded person and half of the industrialist. This is the first thing. So the thing what you don't know is I am always connected to these type of people, industries, educational institutions for long back. I just go to their seminars, I go to their exhibitions by way of judge or by way of giving lectures. And by my basic subject always is how to start the business, how to get all these students to business. This was my subject. So this is my social work towards this educational field. So whenever I go, I feel there is a big gap, but I was not knowing how to fill up this gap. So this was a great opportunity for me, and great idea came to my mind that already we are doing a lot of work in COSMA. Lot of technical seminars are going in COSMA, but those are revolving inside our COSMA, inside our industrial people. If we expose that all knowledge and everything, very high technical knowledge to the students, they will get a big step towards the industry, which will save their valuable time or in getting the experience. Now the time is very fast. So जो हम लोग 40 साल में सीखे, we don't expect them to learn it in 40 years. So we should, as a new generation, we should expect them to learn within say year or a 2 year and step or leap forward. So that was my basic idea. So with this idea, I came across. Then I talked to these people. I joined these people to my COSMA, and this is the first step. Now here onwards, I am going to connect all technical institutions which are connected at least to me to the COSMA. And definitely COSMA also will get benefit out of it, because see, all these students, when they pass out, they will after all go to any big institution, government institution, or may go out of India and will join some institution. So they will remember definitely there was a COSMA lectures, and we had been in that lectures for our education, our student age, and mentally also they will get connected. So kabhi unko order dena padega. So pehle they will think about the COSMA members. That is the hidden advantage, you can say. So this is all, and I forward the mic again to Sanju sir.
Thank you very much, Anandji, for connecting both academics and then industry association. We'll ask Sharwari if she joins later on to brief her about herself.
She has joined actually, so you can continue to Sane madam. Sane madam. Brief about yourself, please, madam.
Very good morning, sir, all of you. I'm Dr. Sharwari Sane, presently working as a head of the department from Vishwaniketan, and presently for the electrical department specially. I'm connected with COSMA and especially Jayavant sir from long time. And he is very enthusiastic regarding the connection between the academics and the industry. So coming back to my introduction, I'm a PhD in electrical, my specialization into the electrical traction. Nearly 24 or 25 years experience I have in the teaching itself. Presently, I'm working for one very important project of European Commission, and that is called the Erasmus Mundus. Nearly 6 countries are there along with me: India, then Pakistan, Thailand, then Spain, Denmark is also there. Like that way, we are working together for the academics, and we are developing one course which is known as a DTBT. So this is specially involved the business for the students, especially the students who want to go for the business or the entrepreneurship. So I'm developing the content for them, and we are very happy that nearly 2 years have been completed. In this project, I have been visited to Denmark last year, and I have undergone to the one very important university's training, which is coming under the Aarhus University, Denmark, which was called as a business modeling training. This business modeling is connecting the students, staff, members to the industry directly. That is a very important steps taken by our project, that looking forward, as you are the industry person and we are the academicians, so looking forward that we just want that maximum people from the students from our colleges should have their own startups, and we are working for that. I'm very happy to share with you that from last almost 6 months, I'm very successfully conducting the various workshops for the students, and we have started getting the outcomes from that. Nearly total 14 startups have come up from my college itself, and they are doing very well. So this connection is very important for me. Thank you very much, Cosma. Special thanks to sir, you, and Jayant sir also. So I'm just looking forward for your session, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. And a big hi to all the students of these two institutions. Coming back to today's topic is modern trends in electrical control panel building. And our speaker is very much our own director of COSMA and head of load controls and Modutech and money sales at Bengaluru. Load Controls is a very reputed and well-known switchboard manufacturer in South India. Also, they provide best-in-class solution and services to the electrical industry. With this customary welcome address, I now go with folded hands before you all with huge thanks from the core of my heart. Lastly, big thanks to all the COSMA committee and board members who are working very hard to make these meetings happen. Special thanks to Kaji sir and participating senior people like Vijay Bhai, Lodha sir, and I am not able to see others, but Shekhar Bhandare sir, senior people and members of COSMA for giving motivation and inspiration and encouragement to all of us at COSMA. Now I request Ramani sir to give brief introduction and take the matter forward, please.
Yeah. So, thank you very much, Sajeev Bhai, and my heart is really, feeling so good today that I have been given this opportunity to address not just our COSMA fraternity, but also the students of 2 engineering colleges. I remember how I used to feel when I was in college. And theory. It makes it's like all studies and no fun makes Jack a dull boy. So in that way, the combination of academics and industry is what gives relevance in terms of what we study and then what it means in the real world. So I think it's really a fantastic initiative from Anand, and I do hope that this would reach out to all the students and hopefully inspire them to have many more such exposures, because that is the key to accelerating your learning. So once again, a special welcome to the students and professors of the Vishwaniketan Engineering College and Marathwada Mitra Mandal's Engineering College. So the topic for today is to do with what are the modern trends in control panels. Now, when we look at the control panel industry in India, it starts with this particular association which we have, and as students, there is always this competition which we have with each other to get the right kind of marks. But then there are a set of students also who believe in a kind of a combined studies, and in that sense, students, they help each other, and then they do well in the exams together better. So it's something similar in our control panel industry. Four people got together way back in 1988 and said, why should we just compete? Let us also think in terms of collaboration. And that is how COSMA started. Amongst these four people, we are very lucky today to have amongst us our Chairman Emeritus, Mr. Satish Kazi, who has really been the guiding spirit, and his intent to grow in so deep down that that energy just reverberates across the entire country. You can see from his vision that he says that COSMA is here to elevate the standards, the quality of products and services, and that is the kind of thought concept which is behind COSMA. And then we all heard our dear President Sanjeev, and he has emphasized that the mission of COSMA is really to create a foundation of trust, to create that trust between not just panel builders, but also panel builders and end users, well-wishers, so that as a community, we all learn to respect each other and grow together. So talking about the Indian control panel industry, this is approximately 18,000 crores. So that's a huge opportunity. And this opportunity is only growing. It can be bifurcated into the process automation, the factory automation, as well as the electrical distribution. Now, the growth rates, what has been mentioned here, have been basically the pre-COVID growth rates. So post-COVID, we have taken a beating, but the belief, what I subscribe to, is that come 2021, we would all be entering into the decade of growth as far as India is concerned. And it's very important that each one of us will have to get ourselves ready for this kind of a growth. And as we grow, it's not change, but transformation. What I mean by that is, as we go up the ladder in the marketplace, we need to be continuously learning, relearning, and unlearning, which is very, very critical. Even as students, what you learn in this college, what you see in the marketplace, you'll find that there are certain differences. So you'll have to be able to adapt to change. If we continue to do what we did, we will continue to get what we got. So if we want something different, we will have to do things differently. And this is, the space which every student and all of us are also students. Even at this age, we keep learning, because if we don't learn, then we are extinct. So change is very difficult and challenging, and sometimes it is even threatening. But exploring new paths we must, to remain relevant in the industry and survive and scale. So when you move from your student life to the industry, you'll find that there are decisions which will have to be taken at different levels. On a daily basis, there will be a lot of operational decisions which will need to be taken, which is task and timeline driven. And then on a weekly basis, you will have tactical decisions to be taken, which is to do with systems and processes. How do we ensure that, whatever is repeatable is put into a system so that we don't do the same thing again, but we try and do different things. And finally, once in 45 days or 60 days, the top management of the organization will need to come together to look at strategic decisions to do with vision, mission, and what are the values we hold close to our chest. So these are all aspects which will need to be considered as you move towards the industrial shift in your career. And when you do that, one thing we will all realize is that there somehow is a lot of resistance to this change. And the important thing is for us to understand why there is this resistance. Why is it that we like to be within our comfort zone? Why is it that we don't want to try something different and take risks? And invariably, like our Mahatma Gandhi would say that find purpose and the means will follow. And what is this purpose? Each one of us are different. Each one of us come with our own signature. Each one of us will have to discern what is our strengths and how we can take it to the world outside. So it's very important for us to understand what is our why. And once we are clear about what our why is, then the how and the what automatically follows. So it's very important as students to start thinking in terms of what is our why, what is it that we want to do, what is the opportunity which is there in the marketplace, what is that challenge which is there outside which I am best qualified to serve. And it is only this that will bring a lot of meaning to your career, profession, or entrepreneurship as the path you would choose to take. And the important point I'd like to emphasize here is that only 20% of the people really know their purpose, and the balance 80% just allow themselves to be led. And this is why we find that 98% of the wealth of the world is just in the hands of 2% of people. So it's very important for us to start organizing our thoughts right at this stage to understand what is our strength, how do we get there, how do we organize ourselves, so on and so forth. So when we're talking about business, discerning our business strategy, and all these things would be very, very applicable for each one of you who are either entering into the path of business, or even when you're in the path of business, if you're getting stuck somewhere, the best friends to have are these 5 whys and 1 H. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. So for this, we first start off by asking, who are my customers? What are their NDPs? NDP stands for what are their needs, desires, and problems. And when we look at that, when we understand that these are the customers, then again, these customers can be categorized under 4 headings. First is the amazing customers. They are with least effort, you get maximum return. And then you have the breadwinners. They give you volumes, but they negotiate and get the best price. And those customers are also important because each one of us will have to have a base load in our factory. And then you have the convenient customers who come in once in a way, give you orders. So it's not required for you to go around searching for these convenient customers, but when they come, deal with them. And then the last and the most important category is the dangerous customers. They make you put in a hell of a lot of effort, and the returns from them is very, very abysmal. So those are customers whom one will need to avoid. So it's important for us to keep choosing our customers. It's important for us to understand why they will buy from us, which means what is my DCE, which is your decisive competitive edge. What should be my product range to meet for me to meet these requirements? And when you think in terms of product range, again, you have the prime products, the easy to buy products, and the accessories. Some of these easy to buy products actually work as door openers. They allow you to have the door opened and enter into the customer's place, and then you can bring out your prime products and make the best out of that relationship. How do I go about selling them and scaling profitably? When do I start executing this strategy? So it's in thinking and strategizing that you run a business, because like someone said, direction is so much more important than just speed. Talking again about our control panel industry, in the world, you'll find that this particular categorization works well. Like at the bottom of the pyramid, you have the maximum number of panel builders, and these are called the generalists. They are basically a jack of all trades, and they thrive on relationships. So that sort of makes them very local in their focus. And then right on top, you have the specialists. They either cater to the sugar industry, or they cater to the power factor correction relay industry, or they may perhaps be also catering to intelligent MCCs, so on and so forth. Now, by virtue of their specialization, they go globally as far as their product range is concerned. And then you have the nationalists in terms of being all over the country. And these are, again, panel builders who are a bit of both types, and they cater to the industry, infrastructure, and the power segments. So, I mean, this is just for one to understand that we need to take a bird's eye view of the industry and then try to identify where we need to fit in. So you can be a generalist. Yes, you can be a very good generalist. You can be a specialist also and be a very good specialist. So whatever you do, we need to be really putting our heart and soul into it and doing it. This is most important. To give you an example of my own journey in the control panel industry, I have also had this hunger to differentiate myself, to identify what is to be my decisive competitive edge. And, I started load controls in the year 1990, and I started it in the conventional welded manufacturing of control panels. In 1996, I happened to visit Singapore. I went actually for one purpose, but then since that didn't work out, I sort of focused myself on to seeing how I can make the best use of my time, because I had 1 week in front of me. And I started taking up the yellow pages and calling panel builders. And in that 1 week, I visited about 18 panel building units. My thirst was to know, how are they different? What can I learn from them? Is there something that makes them special? I realized after this, during this exercise which I did, that there were basically 3 types of panel builders whom I came across. One is, of course, the conventional welded control panel manufacturers like what we have in India. And then you have the semi-modular electrical panels. There are a number of switchboard manufacturers in India, even today, who are into this category. And then we have the truly world-class modular panels, which can be transported across geography in a flat pack. So this is something which we'll talk more about as we go forward. And what is important and what really caught my imagination was the simplicity, the standardization, and the system-driven approach which this category of panel builders had towards their job, towards their profession. So what I did was I got back to the drawing board. I brought some samples, I did some reverse engineering, and also had to adapt the technology to meet the kind of simple machinery which I had, because we had to be low cost in our approaches. And in the year 2000, I'm happy to share that we pioneered the modular concept of switchboard manufacturing in South India. Overnight, I stopped manufacturing panels in the welded manner. My decisive competitive edge kicked in, and the profitable revenues also started scaling. Industry welcomed us, and we upgraded our customer base. So we slowly started going to data centers, to industry, and people welcomed us because of the kind of technology which we were able to put on the table. We were the first to invest on a CNC turret punch press in 2003 as a panel builder in South India. The modular is a CNC turret a punching machine, which really it's a fantastic machine. More of that as you Google on CNC turret punch. The modular panel needed to be type tested and certified, and this also followed in 2013. In fact, this is a very interesting thing. You know, I was able to attract to our company a panel building company from Qatar, and they wanted their switchboards to be type tested in IEC 61439. And when they saw our modular designs, they said, "Can you do it for us?" And then we jumped at it and we got it done in first shot, and this was with Siemens switchgear. In 2017, we got our biggest order from Kia Motors. So, you know, once you start going the quality direction, you'll find that you suddenly start attracting the right kind of customers to your fold. And this is what happened. This was a 35 crore order when in the previous financial year, I had done only a turnover of 42 crores. Now, can you imagine how we went about executing this project? And, you know, when I look back, no way we could have executed this in the period of 4 to 5 months, but for the modular technology. So this is the biggest advantage of modular technology. And so now I'll show you a small video about how the modular technology works. It's a simple video, which I think you will be able to get the kind of idea about how this works. So please give it your full attention. So this is the base channel, and this is again modular. It has these 4 corners, and then you put the bolt nuts together, and then there you have the plinth ready. So then you have these frame bars with the tripods at the corner, and they come together, and then you screw it in, and this tripod gives the right angle to the entire framework. After the bottom portion is put together as a frame, then you put your top portion, again the tripods come in place, and then they're fitted in and then screwed together. And all these screws which you see are Allen bolt screws, which gives you a very good torque when you tighten it. Then these are the crossbars which goes in, just for you to get an idea about how the crossbar and the frame bars come together to make the entire skeleton of the panel. Then you have these joiner pieces which goes into different parts of the panel. And you know, it gets screwed on for you to have the bolted doors, the hinged doors, so on and so forth. So this is how the doors then come and get fitted, and then the panel is ready for consumption. The front of the panel, you need hinge doors. So these are the hinges, and these are aluminum extruded hinges. And then you have the door, which, okay, this is the lock latch, which comes on the other side. Incidentally, the door is reversible right to left or left to right. You can have the door, you know, the hinge can come that side, the lock latch can come this side, then the door can be opened from right to left instead of left to right. Now, when 2 such panels has to be put together, then this is how you do it. And then these are the, you know, gadgets, which joiner pieces, which help you couple the 2 panels together. And then your entire panel is ready for consumption. So this is an Almira type enclosure which I have shown you. Similarly, we go in for you know, the compartmentalized panels. There are different types of panels which is possible for us to manufacture. Now you saw this technology. Let me take you back in history, and let me you know, show you how people used to make panels 5 decades ago. You'll be surprised that it was done in cast iron. And this is something amazing, you know, the way we have been able to advance in technology from there. And then you see these angle irons, which are kept in different sizes. 3 to 4 decades back, we used to take these angles. I started my factory with the angle iron framework. We used to cut it and then, you know, weld it together and then cover it with the CRCA sheet. CRCA stands for cold rolled and cold annealed. It's basically steel sheets. And then after you finish it, you spray paint it. Today we have technology which is semi-modular and modular. And these modular, as you can see on the right hand side here, we just use these two profiles. One is called the frame bar, the other is crossbar. There are different people who have different concepts of modular design, of course. But the important thing is that the delivery period is very much shortened. Within 3 to 6 weeks, we can execute a large project. And what it renders is that the panel builder is really offering solutions which are smarter, faster, and safer. So that is important, as human beings, we keep looking at how we can make the lives of our brethren that much more simpler, and therefore, what is our contribution to technology to make this world a better place to live in, because we are here. So speed is the name of the game, and the modular technology helps us being adaptable, flexible, and versatile. There are many portions. Now you saw that modular video. So similarly here, this is how you can put the skeleton of the whole profiles together, completed with the partition sheets, and then have a compartmentalized panel also ready. Similarly, we can also have a modular system working for medium voltage panels. Medium voltage is basically from above 1000 volts up to all the way up to 36,000 volts. So these are also areas where modular technology can be used effectively. And from my company, we have got it type tested also across low voltage to medium voltage using modular technology. So the advantages, as I said, was standardization, systematization, and the use of software. This simplifies life tremendously. Now, what I mean by that is you can see all these crossbar, frame bars, these gland plates, these partition sheets, these doors, these top plates, now these plinth, each and every item are assigned a code number. And the software helps you arrive at the GA drawing. The GA is general arrangement drawing once you answer certain basic questions. And from the GA drawing, you can also make some adjustments in it. And then you click a button, you get the entire bill of material, which really brings in a lot of simplicity, transparency, and complete efficiency to the way of the panel being manufactured. So what this helps you is that it renders the benefit of your being able to scale production. All this is fine, but how does the customer believe you? How does the customer trust you with the type of quality? And that is where these third-party certifications come. And there are international standards which say that a panel has to be this way and that way. And that is what is called the, certifying bodies, like we have ASTA, we have KEMA, we have UL, we have CE. And in India, we have certain laboratories like your CPRI, ERDA, all of them who who certify that, yes, this product is complying with all the tests. This is a slide to give you an idea about what are the different thought processes which has gone into this modular technology. You have these profiles punched, pierced, and even threaded, so that the entire assembly time comes down and it can be done very fast. There are certain technologies which use riveting methods, which is faster in terms of putting the sheet metal together. And then there are these cage nuts. So cage nuts get into these kind of square punched portions in a profile, and then you can fit the cage nut wherever you want in order to have whatever profiles you want to be fitted across it. And this, of course, this modularity, it helps you to expand on your panels x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis, whichever way you want in multiples of the punched profiles. So these are all various advantages which is able to accommodate different kinds of needs of different customers. Now, from the CRCA sheets, which I mentioned to you some time back, technology is growing as far as the sheet steel which is getting used in our panels as well. Today, we have GI sheet, which is galvanized iron, and very soon it is being replaced by alu zinc sheets. Now, what is alu zinc? Alu zinc sheets are an alloy between aluminum and zinc. And the beauty of AluZinc is that it outperforms the GI sheet 2 to 6 times. And these AluZinc sheets or GI sheets can also be used for these kind of side claddings. It can be used for mounting plates. It can be used for structural profiles, so on and so forth. What's more, today, as technology is evolving, in the European countries, in China and other parts of the world, we have what is called the ZAM, or zinc, aluminum and magnesium. In ArcelorMittal, a big steel manufacturer, he has branded this as Magnalis. And ZAM is nothing but an alloy of zinc, aluminum and magnesium. Now, when magnesium replaces a certain amount of aluminum, the costing actually comes down. Not only that, it also has the properties to enhance the corrosion resistance property, the malleability, and so many other metallurgy of the enclosure. There are panel builders like Tekpan in Turkey and so many more who have already started adapting Magnalis and ZAM in their enclosures. In India, we had a webinar with Tata Steel recently, and the Tata Steel has slated to come out with AluZinc in 2 mm thickness by 2022 and introduce Magnalis into the Indian market by 2023. And today, of course, if we want Magnalis, we want AluZinc, the best option is to import, although JSW has recently started 2 mm in AluZinc. So these are technologies which are evolving, and it's very important as panel builders, as students who are aspiring to become professionals tomorrow, to be understanding that technology is always evolving, and this is why I said we have to continuously be learners in our journey in our professions. Now, when you look at enclosures, there are different people who are interested in enhancing the quality of enclosures for different reasons. For example, a switchgear manufacturer like ABB or Schneider, L&T, Siemens or Legrand, they want more sales of their switchgear. So then they keep thinking in terms of how do they add value to their customers. And when they think on those lines, they come out with all these high technology solutions as far as enclosures are concerned, so that they can also differentiate themselves and serve the customer, serve their system integrators, and serve the end users through them in a manner which sets them apart. And they're all into fantastic technologies, which is really, really good from each one of their angles. However, their enclosures are made only for their switchgear because they don't want to promote other switchgears, obviously. This is where companies like Rittal come in, or my own company like Modutech comes in, L Steel comes in. We are all switchgear agnostic companies. So for us, our main business is the enclosures, and the beauty is that we are able to adapt our enclosures to suit any make of switchgear, and that is the reason why we go about type testing our switchboard enclosure system with different makes of switchgear, so that we are able to serve the end customer through the panel builders with all these varieties of capabilities. Now, when in the olden days, when we used to build houses, you would see that solid bricks were used, and that is the reason why we were not able to go beyond first floor, second floor, maximum third floor. But today you have skyscrapers. How do they do it? They do it on the basis of columnar strength. And that is the same philosophy of modular enclosures. Each one of these profiles give you more columnar strength. And because we give columnar strength, we are able to use thinner gauge of sheet as the partition walls, just like we use hollow brick walls in the latest type of building constructions. So these are the advantages of technology, where you're able to increase strength and reduce cost. So these are all the ways we'll need to really think, adapt, and contribute. I was talking to you about the type testing. So the type testing for low voltage, we call it IEC 61439. And for medium voltage, it's called IEC 62271-200. And it's very important that as switchboard manufacturers, we go in for these type testing. Why should we? Because we should not limit our growth. We need to scale. Having come into a business, we need to be looking at how to scale the business. Now, when we have to scale the business, we have to ensure that the customer is going to have confidence in our working. So for the customer to have confidence in us, we need to create what is called this foundation of trust. And that is where these third-party certifications come in. So we have, a number of tests. Some of them I have shown here, like the salt spray chamber, where the item is put inside and salt water is sprayed on it at a particular temperature over a period of time, and then it needs to pass that test. Similarly, you have vibration test. IP test is the dust and vermin proof test, which ensures that the panel is relevant to whatever application you put it. You can choose the IP rating and then get it passed accordingly. And then you also have the internal arc and seismic test. So basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to go one step ahead in safety, one step ahead in technology, one step ahead in ensuring that we are safe and nothing goes wrong. So that is the big advantage of these type tests. To give you an overview of what all different technologies there are, let us look at the door locks. Earlier, we used to just have a screw which used to hold the door to the frame. Today, we have conventional metal locks, which is again, improved with polyamide locks. And then you have compression type locks, which means that as you lock, the door gets pulled to the frame, which means it's a better IP dust and vermin protection. Then we have the 3-point locking systems, and here we have digital locks. Then we have remote locks, like how you operate your automobile. You unlock your door of the automobile from remote. Similarly, you can do for your panels. You have biometric locks, so on and so forth. So each variety which keeps coming into the market, it helps us to serve our customer that much more better. And then looking at gaskets, we had very conventional gaskets in those days. And then it came on to EPDM gaskets and neoprene gaskets, which was chemically and temperature wise much more resistant and contributing. Today you have what is called the foam gasket, which is seamless. You actually pour the liquid A and B chemical together on the door, and within 2 minutes it solidifies, and there is absolutely no gap in the foam gasket, which again ensures that dust and vermin protection. A simple thing like the door stiffener, which was, which used to get welded to the door with an L piece or a C piece. Today it comes on in bolted fashion, and it also offers a lot of other multi-purpose to the person who's using these panels. And then you have these tripods, as what you saw in the video, different varieties for different types of modular enclosures, which helps us get ahead and ahead in technology. Coming to hinges, earlier we used to have these bottle type hinges, what you see here as a conventional type hinges. We used to weld one portion to the frame and another to the door. But today, instead of welding, you can just bolt it to the door and the frame, and you have spring-loaded hinges, you have die-cast hinges, you have polyamide hinges, and even aluminum extruded hinges. Now, you can also choose the hinge depending upon your application, whether you want the door to open out 90 degrees or you want the door to open out 180 degrees. So all these technologies are available, and one can pick and choose what they want and then progress forward. Now, coming to sheet metal, the availability and the purchase ability is very, very important. Now, one staggering statistic is that China alone produces 55% of the steel that is produced in the world. And so India certainly needs to catch up. India is very scarce on this 2 mm thick alu-zinc. Magnalus ZAM is yet to be manufactured in India. So all these are, it pushes us to understand that sometimes we have to import sheet metal. So when we have to import, then again there is, or buy in bulk, There are these spreads which is introduced by the government of India, NSIC. All these are basically vendor finance schemes which helps us to purchase better. In fact, even an organization like COSMA, panel builders can come together. We are in fact exploring this, whether we can come together and purchase sheet metal in bulk so that you're able to get a massive discount which helps you in the economy of scale. Just love to share with you that there are these articles which I have published in various magazines, basically to spread the word that standardization is the way to prosperity. And all these technologies which are available, I think each one of us will also have to look at ways and means of reaching it to the world, and that is been an endeavor. COSMA News is a magazine brought by COSMA. It's once or twice a year. Today we are likely to be going in for a online version of COSMA News, and since it's online, I would request the respective principals to be in touch with our Anand Jayavant, and you could also take the online copy and give it to your students so that they start getting more and more involved in how the industry is thinking, what are the latest trends, so on and so forth. Now, we also have to be, knowledgeable about how the economic shifts are taking place globally. We are aware that thanks to COVID, the US and European countries are seriously considering India as a manufacturing destination in preference to China. However, India has competition from countries like Vietnam and Indonesia, who are probably much better organized. So India has to organize itself if they have to compete and take this kind of business. Our Prime Minister's call has been, let's all be more vocal about getting local. And that's where the Make in India concept has been given a lot of predominance. Imports of substitution opportunities, therefore, are to be explored by industry, and it needs to be thought through by academia as well. MSMEs, which is the medium, small and micro enterprises in particular, will need to take notice of this trend and learn to leverage digital marketing, which is the future. Digital marketing, my dear students in particular, is something which we cannot avoid. We need to get, learning more and more about this, and that is when we will all be able to secure a global reach in whatever we are doing. Now, exports is here in India. There are a number of companies who are exporting, but they are very, very few. Few of them here, we have New India Electricals, which is in Bangalore, and he has got several awards for exports. And, he's a panel builder. He's an ABB medium voltage system integrator. And the second generation of leadership is in place. And I'm glad to show you all that there is this 39 countries which they are exporting to. Recently, I was, in the Tata Steel webinar, Ambit, Mr. Anand Singhal was also there. And it was so nice to note that as a company, he has also, been able to export to these 16 different countries all over the world. It's amazing. And if they can do it, why can't we? Each one of us will have to think in terms of how do these people do it? If somebody else can do it, we can do it. It's like that, the first time a person ran and ran that 1 mile in less than 4 minutes, everyone else started doing the same thing. It got broken several times the same year. So it's very important for us to take inspiration from these panel builders and see how we can go forward. And in this, I would say that belonging to COSMA is a big advantage for control panel manufacturers. Why? Because it's our business is not just B2B, but we can also get this B2B catalyzed by A to A, which is association to association. We have already started thinking in terms of reaching out to associations across the globe and seeing how we can support each other. And when we go as associations, then the kind of trust is automatically built, and therefore makes the journey that much more easier, simpler for us to go forward in. One more thing we'll need to really take notice of is that the internet age has arrived. And today we don't just talk about switchboards, we talk about digital switchboards. We don't talk about having customers come into our factory for inspection. We talk about e-inspection. We don't talk in terms of giving a complete hard-bound file or even a CD containing the as-built drawings of the switchboard which is manufactured. We just paste a QR code on the panel, and anybody can go and scan it, and he can download the entire drawings and technical data of the switchboard whenever he wants it. And particularly when it comes to maintenance, it becomes a big advantage. We have barcoding, which helps us to maintain inventory. So I really do hope and pray that colleges and institutions are taking note of this internet age and really exposing the students to all these kind of technologies, which is going to be the order of the day going forward. All business houses will need to relook at their IT infrastructure, their architecture of how the entire cabling has gone, whether we have sufficient firewalls, whether data is secure, and all this is suddenly becoming very, very important for all of us. With social distancing, webinars, telemarketing, and digital marketing have all become the new normal. So we no longer close an order face to face. We are able to close orders on a Zoom meeting like this. So these are all things which we need to be adapting and improving ourselves going forward. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. This is the first time COSMA has ventured to bridge the gap between academia and industry. I hope this talk helped. Each one of us will need to bring another to COSMA, because it is only in the unity of being together that we are able to do such knowledge sharing sessions and contribute to the world as a result of this. COSMA is a wonderful organization, my dear friends. Those of you who are watching, who are not yet members, please do become members, because we'd like to spread ourselves across the 8 union territories and the 28 states of our wonderful country, and make COSMA a real name to reckon with, an association which really contributes not only to the members, but also to the world. I'd like you all to also have a look at our website, cosmaindia.co.in. We are again making a lot of inroads into different ways of reaching out to our customers through this website, so that the benefits of all this will help us all to emerge stronger together. Thank you all very much.
Over to Sanju sir. Sanju sir, please.
I hope all the participants, especially all academication participants, have drawn some valuable insight from this webinar also. You have any queries on this, or you have anything out of the box questions also, you can throw at us. We will be happy to reply to your questions. Go ahead, sir, Sunil ji. Vishal, you unmute Sunil Deshpande ji.
सुनील जी अनम्यूट करके बोलिए प्लीज.
It was a really wonderful experience to listen to what is happening at control panels and entire industry around control panels. What I can see is if say we come together and draw something like, say, audit courses for our students to go into this particular field, or what is the technology involved in the control panels. So that is also possible in academics. So maybe few audit courses could be launched in the design and manufacturing of control panels. That will give more insight to the students in this particular domain. So that can be done jointly with you people.
Yes, we note these things. Thank you. गोवाकर सर, आपको कुछ बात करना है? वीएन गोवाकर.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In fact, it was very nice to start with this introduction, I would say, because first time I am coming with this COSMA, and maybe just to extend this activity, I may suggest to go ahead in coming future, go ahead with some design kind of this control panel. And of course, we have seen the skeleton, and we are very much motivated. Something inside the skeleton, even if we can take up in coming future, maybe wiring design, or maybe selection of some switchgear components, maybe different level, starting with the conventional controllers to say industry 4 kind of controllers. So if we can take up such kind of seminars or kind of activities, maybe our academic institute also can contribute a little to this. So this is not a query, but a kind of suggestion to the forum. Yes, sir.
Dev, permit me, I just want to say a few things.
Yeah, please continue, madam.
Ramani sir, I'm very thankful to you on behalf of Vishwaniketan. Me, my staff members, and many of my students are attending right now. I have just given my introduction, but no, parallelly, I just want to introduce about the Vishwaniketan, because why we need all these activities right now. Vishwaniketan is the very first institute which is completely believe in the project-based learning. So, sir, when you were talking about everything, so practical things, because being a teacher, especially when we are teaching to the students, we are drawing certain things on the board and explaining the things. Whatever you're doing right now and your explainer is really important right now for the coming years for the students. When because we are having the complete project-based learning process, so many students of mine, they are doing many projects which are related to the various technologies, and especially for the electrical, electronics, and mechanical students. Because when I was just listening very carefully each and every word of you, that this association, and especially the people like you, will be definitely helpful to the academics, people like us, right? Because students required your continuous, what we can say, the proper kind of the motivational speech, not only the speech, but the mentorship, especially, I can say. And I'm expecting the same thing from the panel, because this kind of the things, if we just join together, and this is quite easy and no very best platform to all of us. Thank you very much, sir, again.
Most welcome.
Can I step in here?
Yes, sir. Vijay sir, continue.
Yeah. So first and foremost, my compliments to Ramani sir. I think it has been a very excellent and very insightful presentation. As a person, and extending to what Sani ma'am has already referred to, from Vishwaniketan side, and also as a person, who has followed the developments in the control panel industry, from mid 90s, around the time, basically, I think you scaled up your operations after visit to Singapore. I would like to say that it has come a very wrong way in terms of the marriage of various technologies. And having said that, and you have actually touched on almost every aspect of technology, that is actually finding its way into the control panel industry, so to speak. And last but not the least, with digitalization actually finding its very prominence into into this industry, which is a combination of electromechanical kind of a practice, industry practice. Leveraging students and academic fraternity actually to further excel in this industry, whether this is to do with bringing in alternative materials or from hot connection techniques to cold connection techniques, and for that matter basically even introducing different kinds of coating technologies and space management. All this put together, I think we can definitely work hand in hand actually with this particular body to see how we can use the fresh minds and the new talent actually to translate the theoretical concepts into the practical concepts. For that matter, actually, basically, industry can really look at students and academic fraternity, to bit of outsource, some of your work, which perhaps, we could do better in terms of doing the initial study and research, that is required. And then, we can work together to transform this into, some kind of proof of concepts or prototypes, that are required for your commercialization purposes. So I would say that this really provides a very good platform, where we can really work together to provide those various opportunities to students, as well as the industry can use and leverage this platform for a very good collaboration. So thank you so much, sir. Yes.
Most welcome, and just like to share with you a few thoughts on what you said and what the earlier speakers said. When I was in college, I did my chemical engineering, by the way, and for me that what I was studying and I was really not able to relate it to actual practical wisdom. And so in those days, I expressed this to my father that I'm not able to understand this. I would really like to visit some factories. Now, he came forward, he spoke to an uncle of mine who was an industrialist, and he organized for a factory tour. And about 6 of us, close friends from college, we went on this tour in Tamil Nadu, it was. And when we visited these factories, first time in our life, we are really going and seeing how a heat exchanger looks. What is the kind of thermodynamic calculations which happens in an industry, and how the whole industry is maintained one against the other, and how this is a completely different world, when we go from academia to industry. Believe me, that sort of opened my eyes in very great ways. So much so, the final year, when we had to submit our project report, it was so much more easier for me to do the entire layout of the industry and submit the whole project report. So it's from my side, I would really appeal to principals and caretakers of institutions like as we have your presence with us today, to really bring in this, take this beginning to a greater level where we are able to understand, the students are able to understand more. There's a question there, what do I do with my career? How do I go forward? So these are questions which are there in the minds of so many students. And unless and until they are out there and they see the real world, that is when they would really get that exposure to understand, acha, to ye, this resonates with me. And the moment they are able to understand what resonates with them, they can pick their path accordingly. In fact, in COSMA, we have this practice of coming together, and still, even now we are learning. We are going to industries together. We went to Rittel factory. It's amazing to see how they manufacture switchboards. So, and so on and so forth. Several industries we have gone to, and every industrial visit which we make, we come back charged, we come back inspired, we come back with a lot of ideas which we can implement in our own units. So this kind of approach, if academia can bring in greater proportion, I'm sure you are having such activities, but if you can really give it a little bit more and more focus as we go forward, I think it will make a big difference. Thank you.
Anybody wants to talk? Yes, please, Sanju sir. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Sanjeev Lodha from Rajasthan. I wanted to ask Ramli one question. First of all, let me compliment you. Excellent talk.
Thank you.
Very descriptive and very well defined, very well told. See, we are having an advancement in the fabrication side. We are able to make the fabrication very fast. But to support this, is there any automation in the electrical wiring and assembling also?
Of course. There are, the entire coil of wire, you put it into a machine and say that you want so much of length of it to be cut. There are machines which will cut it for you. There are machines which will lug it for you. There are machines which will ferrule it for you. I mean, we have Mr. Ketan Gandhi here, who is heading the entire plant at Suzlon, and Suzlon is, at the peak, they were one of the biggest panel builders with 1,800 crores of turnover, and they used to actually have their panels on a conveyor system and get it done on a lean manufacturing methodology. Mr. Ketan, can I request you to add your views on this, please?
Sure. Yeah, I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So even the automation has gone into that level that you can have a robot which can wire the complete panel, starting from, as Mr. Ramani mentioned, cutting of wires as predefined length to crimping to numbering to even a laying of cables. So the automation is available and it is being used in number of companies. However, any company who would like to adopt, they need a volume to actually recover their capex cost. And that's where even Mr. Ramani, what he mentioned about modular enclosure concept, it's a very good concept, but look at the reality that every medium-sized to large-size panel builder, they have their own fabrication. Even they don't have that much volume. And because of these reasons, even fabrication is not able to, fabrication facilities like Modutech is not able to scale up and reduce the cost. So there's a lot of rethinking required at the country level in terms of the entire supply chain of the control panel or electrical panel industry. And there's a lot of changes required to make sure that the volume goes up. We have center of excellence. We have cost will be going down, and the quality will be just like any other European manufacturer. So there's a lot of things can be done. But yes, automation is available, and we have gone with that level of automation.
Yep. Taking that point on justifying economy of scale, even our Talsira, I do not know whether he is there with us today. His favorite point is that panel builders will need to specialize in their core competency. And that is where you will be able to exercise your economy of scale in whatever you do. So, in countries abroad, you find that a control panel manufacturer, he does not make enclosures. He just outsources enclosures, and then he focuses on his core competency of electrical wiring and busbar and connections and the PLC and the SCADA systems perhaps, which goes along with it. In India, we tend to do all this in-house. And when we tend to do all this in-house, we find that actually cost becomes a problem. And, to share my own personal experience, the moment I divided load controls, which is the switchboard manufacturing, into Modutech separately and load controls separately, overnight load controls became more profitable. Now, how did that happen? Because overheads came down. I realized that a bulk of my overhead was going in my fabrication, and that was actually pulling me down in terms of profitability. So in Modutech, I'm playing a number game. For me, economy of scale is very important. So as I increase my volumes in Modutech, then profitability will come. So this distinction has to be understood by each one of us, and we need to really be able to strategize our business in a manner which will give us higher and higher levels of profitability. And economies will come only when there is scale. So what we do best, we try to see how to scale that part of the business more. It always pays to be a specialist when it comes to economies, because that is when you can actually afford the money to buy these kind of robotic machines. If you go to lockstop.com, they are again panel builders, enclosure manufacturers like L Steel and Rittel. Their video on their homepage shows you a number of robots which are in action, getting the entire enclosures out of their factory. If you talk to Rittel, they'll tell you that in Germany, they have a lights off factory. What does that mean? That in that factory, it is run by robots. So you don't need light to run the product, to get the production. And therefore it is 24/7. And it is operated in that fashion. How are they able to do it? Again, it is a scaling. You need to have the right kind of a scale in order to afford this kind of technologies. So as the scale goes up, definitely technologies are available to leverage, and each one of us, I feel, should be focused on doing what we do best and just leaving everything else alone.
In meanwhile, I would like to tell you, all the students and the professors present over here, we take this opportunity of this seminar, and you should come back to us to get a factory visits for our members. Your students are welcome to our Cosma factories to get the hands-on experience. This is the offer from Cosma to all your educational institutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's actually very important. Thank you.
Yes. And over to Sanju sir again. Sanju sir, I think everybody's minds. Sanju sir, you have to mute.
Unmute rather.
To all the academician participants, I want to inform you that what essentially we have covered today is the modern trends in building control panels, not entire control panel building. It was one vertical modularization and the recent trends in that actually. But the entire control panel making industry is a very complex industry. Every board is a tailor-made board. Every need is a different one, and it involves mechanical, electrical, electronics, chemical. All the activities are involved in that. So today's seminar is only one glimpse of it actually. So there are many things in that. So to know all those things, you have to keep, either you visit our factories so that you will come to know the amount of engineering involved in making these things. So that then your students also will have a lot of clarification, directly showing them what is the fabrication and other things. Instead of that, right from the selling inquiry stage itself, it starts the designing actually. We have to design first and then quote. It is that kind of thing. So today is the only bird's eye view of this industry. So now I think we are already exceeding a lot of time. So we'll conclude this session. So I request Rakesh to say a vote of thanks. Rajesh, please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Honorable Satish Pavitra, our Chairman Emeritus.
Can be a
Sound,
little loud.
sound थोड़ा बढ़ाओ.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Am I audible now? Yeah. Honorable Satish Pavitra, our Chairman Emeritus. Sri Sanjeev Kirawar, our President. Chetan Dharia ji, our Vice President. Sriyam Joshi ji, Secretary. And I'm happy to see Mr. Srikant Parekh as well is able to join us today. And our most invited guest from Marathwada Mr. Mandal College of Engineering, Sri Sunil Madhav Deshpande, the Dr. S.M. Deshpande, Dr. B.N. Gohkar, and his students from Vishwaniketan College of Engineering, Sri Vishwalikar, Dr. Sarvari Sahane, and their students, and my Cosma fraternity. It's a privilege for me to ask to propose a vote of thanks at this occasion. I, on behalf of Cosma and the board, and the entire Cosma fraternity, and the esteemed, extend my hearty vote of thanks to Mr. Ramani and gracing this important work and sharing his experience and findings and his opinions today.
Thank you.
And a special thanks for his effort focusing on the strength and right approach towards channelizing India towards your success and advantages of modular panel construction, emphasis on digital marketing and using information technology as a tool for fast research. I also am very grateful to Chetan Gandhi for sharing his insight on competition in the industry. I also wish Sri Sunil Jaivan providing this platform for bringing the industry and academic institutions. And also bringing to notice that we have almost more than 210 participants in today's webinar. With this, I would like to conclude the webinar.
Anand, since this is the first time this kind of an arrangement is being done, maybe Kazi Bhai can also share with us his comments.
Yeah, so Satish sir, please.
Concluding remarks, please.
Concluding remarks by Satish sir. Satish sir.
Well, friends, it was a wonderful webinar we had. It is for the first time in Cosma's history that we have brought students into Cosma's webinar. I am sure the students have benefited a lot by their presence today. Most heartening was the academic professors and principal and trustee of two institutions who came and joined webinar. And we have offered them that we can arrange visits to our Cosma members' factories anywhere that suits them, including in Pune, incidentally. We have members from Pune also. Once again, I appeal to them to be in touch with us. And as one of them has suggested, maybe next time we will organize a program where we will talk about internal wiring, designs, etc. So with these words, I really want to conclude this meeting with a vote of thanks to all the people who have participated, and particularly to our Cosma's directors, Mr. Ramani and Mr. Anand Jaiwant, who have taken lots of efforts to make this program wonderful and successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you.